This is one of my favorite scenes to create, using spray paint. It's the whole reason I learned how to use spray paint to create art. You see, I'm a kid of the 70s and 80s sci-fi explosion. During that time, that's when all the movies, toys, and comic books, TV, poster, video games, right? The movies like Star Wars and Alien, Star Trek, Blade Runner, Tron, Terminator, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Flash Gordon, Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, V. Remember all those great movies, those great TV shows and movies? The toys we had back then, there was like the Transformers, Masters of the Universe, the magazines, Starlog, Heavy Metal, and then you had those crazy, trippy posters, psychedelic rock, UV coloring, neon posters, and the video games. Now, do you remember going into those the arcades? They had the big original arcade games. Well, on the side of those video games, there were these fantastic paintings and these all kinds of strange worlds and all kinds of strange characters. Centipede, Defender, there was Galaga, there was Stargate. There's all these amazing video game ideas. Well, on the sides of those video games, there were these great scenes that were painted. They were painted somewhere by somebody, and then they were printed. This is before they had Photoshop and other kind of digital manipulation, photo manipulation tools. All right, so this is back in the 80s, as far back as I can remember. I've always been into art. I've always been drawing, painting, trying acrylic paint, watercolors, trying ink. There was a time that I used airbrush. And when I came across spray paint and spray paint art, that was what really made me think about the way the styles of the pictures that I used to see on the arcade games and on the walls of the arcades. You would see these amazing, fantastic paintings of these cities and of these different worlds and these wild, they were the landscapes and the types of Martian or alien type trees and all the characters that were around. Those were the looks that I was looking for, right? It was somewhere in the back of my mind. It was all the way from when I was a kid and a teenager, and I wanted to find a way to make that. So I looked into the spray paint, and it was one of those things. I lived in Las Vegas from like 2005 to 2010, and I would see the spray paint artists on the sides of the street and along Fremont Street, and all these guys would be making these fantastic paintings. If you've ever been along there, and they're in big cities, like in New York, San Francisco, you'll find them all over. Well, I used to watch the guys in Las Vegas. I would watch these guys all the time. I'd watch them for hours. And I said, one day I'm going to get some spray paint and I'm going to learn how to use that. I'm going to learn how to make those amazing planets and galaxies. Well, that day came about 3 years ago. Picked up a can of spray paint and started playing around, and I got some of the tools out of the kitchen and found some tools to use out of the garage. And so to this day, I use very minimal tools to create these types of artwork. My main tool is a spatula. It's one of those little spatulas, and they are also the palette knife. Palette knife is the main drawing tool that I use to create these, to create the cities. For instance, the cities that you'll see in the scenery are first made with the side of the palette knife, and then I'll use the tip to put in the details. This painting right here, well, this has it's a moon, and then there's two other planets along the side. And I think my vision for this was having an ancient temple sitting on the top of the mountain with a modern city at the bottom, and with a rocky kind of Martian terrain. So, as I'm doing this, there's a lot of the techniques that I've learned over the past couple of years, and it's really just finding a recipe, putting it all together. It's taken almost 3 years to learn how to make something like this, to where I thought it looked good, to where I enjoyed making it, and then I enjoyed the outcome of it. There's a lot of fun ways you can learn something, and it just happened that spray paint was a thing that I wanted to learn, making spray paint art. I think that whatever it is that you like, we'll just do more of that. I have a lot of time on my hands right now, so there's plenty of paintings and plenty of things that I want to explore. I think that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it interesting, and I never get bored of it. Is finding new ways to create something. For me, it's painting, and it's not only using spray paint, but sometimes I'll use ink, and I use acrylic and canvas to paint. I'll use a canvas, I'll use boards, I'll use paper. I'll use all kinds of things. So if your thing isn't painting, maybe your thing is something else. Everybody has that thing that they do. I say just practice all you can. Have fun with it. Most importantly, just be in the moment. Just enjoy what you're doing. Learn all you can. Play all you can. And just see where it goes. It's a good start. It's a good start to doing something. Sometimes they say, Dominic, I don't know what I like. I don't know what I want to do. I said, well, probably it's something from childhood. Probably something that you always used to like to do. And if you can't think of anything, well, just start doing something. Just start having fun, whether it's sports or whether it's some type of arts or crafts. Maybe it's some type of outdoor activity. Maybe it's cooking. Maybe it's fishing. Maybe it's woodwork. Maybe it's just talking and writing. Whatever it is, just do it. Have enjoy the time that you can while you're doing it. And this is how I've been doing it with my artwork. I absolutely love the time to create it, and sometimes I learn some new techniques. And I tell you what, there's a lot of times that I fail. Fail meaning, well, it's just a stepping stone, right? Sometimes it doesn't come out the way I want it to, or sometimes the mistakes, right? There's no mistakes in art. It just makes things better. And that happens all the time. But this is the final scene here, and I like the way it came out. See, there's a city, and then above it, on a mountaintop, is a temple, or another city. So, hope you liked the video. I'll see you next time.